The overall size of our spending in Budget 2020 is appropriate for now. We have calibrated it to put sufficient purchasing power back into the economy while injecting a boost of confidence. In fact, our budget is higher than what most economists had expected. This took into account the context of the global slowdown and the wider uncertainties. We are applying support to where it matters most. Our first priority is jobs. The two biggest items in the stabilization and support package, the Jobs Support Scheme and the Wage Credit Scheme, are focused on preserving and enhancing jobs. With greater job assurance, workers are in a better frame of mind to go for training. It will also avoid them having to cut down too much on consumption. SMEs, which employ the bulk of local workers and whose concerns were raised by Ms. Denise Poa and Mr. Ong Teng Koon, are a key focus of these two schemes. As a percentage of revenues, SMEs will receive payouts that are on average 5 times as much as the average for all enterprises. This is on top of the help they will also receive through the corporate income tax rebate and other measures. Second, we are giving support to those sectors which are most directly impacted by COVID-19. Our sector-specific measures are calibrated according to the extent to which each sector has been affected. Tourism, accommodations, and aviation have been hit hardest and are therefore given additional support. In total, these sectors will receive over $400 million in addition to the broad-based support that they will get through the Job Support Scheme, Wage Credit Scheme, and Corporate Income Tax Rebate. This will include enhanced absentee payroll support for workers, an issue that Mr. Seah Kian Peng raised. Ministries will announce further details on this. Third, we have extended support to other groups who have felt the ripple effects, including self-employed persons. We have provided additional measures to support taxi and private hire car drivers, hawkers, tourist guides, and operators of F&B and retail outlets. This additional support totals over $200 million and is over and above the support from broad-based measures, which form the bulk of the support for them. Mr. Desmond Chu, Ms. Ting Pei Ling, and Mr. Gan Thiam Poh asked if we could do more to take care of other groups of SCPs and freelancers who are more affected by the outbreak. Mr. Pritam Singh raised the issue of drivers of buses. The relevant ministries will announce details for these other groups subsequently. Fourth, we have designed our measures to be able to reach enterprises as quickly as possible. Mr. Saktiandi Supat, Mr. Seah Kian Peng, and Mr. Gan Thiam Poh asked if we could expedite the flow of Job Support Scheme payout to businesses. The disbursement of the JSS payouts is operationally more complex due to the need to check and validate information on workers, employers, and payment mode. Hence, we had initially projected for the JSS payouts to reach companies by the end of July. In the last few weeks, the agencies involved have redoubled efforts and are now targeting to bring forward the payment for JSS from end July to end May. Employers using bank crediting will get a payout about a week earlier. Enhancements to the wage credit scheme will be provided in the second half of this year. This way, we can spread out our support for enterprises in a more sustained way. These measures in the package also come on top of the existing support scheme for firms. For example, there will be a wage credit scheme payout of more than $600 million to firms next month, based on the parameters announced in Budget 2018. We should also look at the measures in the stabilization and support package in totality. We are providing a property tax rebate to qualifying commercial properties, for which property owners will receive their revised tax bills in April, and refunds of any excess property tax paid by the end of May. We are also providing rental waivers for government commercial tenants, the majority of which will apply to March and April renters. For the corporate income tax rebate, companies will receive their revised tax bills by the end of March. This will provide not just financial relief, but also help with enterprises' shorter-term cash flow needs. Many, including Mr. Arasu Duraisamy, Ms. Denise Phua, Dr. Teo Ho Pin, Mr. Chong Ki Hyong, and Mr. Alex Yam, have asked if we can do more for businesses and for a longer period of time. We hope that will not be necessary. But if it does, for example, if the outbreak becomes a worldwide pandemic and the global economic impact is deeper and longer, we have the fiscal resources to do so and the will to act. We have the fiscal resources to do so and the will to act. But for now, let's go forth and make the fullest use of the support available out there before we review what more needs to be done. As I said, this is a fluid and fast-moving situation. There are many stories of businesses and workers who are not just making full use of the government support, but taking a step further to help each other and share the burden during this time of fear and uncertainty. Landlords, including CapitaLand and Fraser's Property, have promised to pass on property tax rebates to affected tenants. The taxi and private hire car companies have taken steps in partnership with NTUC, the National Taxi Association, Private Hire Car Vehicles Association, and the government to care for their drivers in their hour of need, even as they face challenges themselves. So I thank Mr. Ang Hin Kee for playing a key role in facilitating this. Many businesses have also responded to the challenge with resilience and foresight, taking the opportunity to accelerate innovation and invest for the future. This is exemplified by Park Royal at Kitchener Road. I visited Park Royal this Tuesday. I was impressed by the measures they are taking during the downtime to renovate the hotel, redesign processes, retrain their workers, and redesign jobs. They are able to do this because even before the COVID-19 outbreak, they have been making plans to transform their operations to cope with manpower constraints. Now, they are accelerating the transformation efforts, fully utilizing the support that we are extending to them. Our labor movement has also been hard at work to help workers cope and emerge stronger from this difficult period. I thank Secretary General Ng Chee Meng, Mr. Heng Chee Hao, and Dr. Koh Poh Koon for NTUC's strong leadership and partnership in this period, and all his NTUC colleagues who are here in this house. Now, this is a time for all of us to do our part. As Mr. Vikram Nair put it, the entire population needs to come together to weather the storm.